Never meant to cause you any pain. We celebrate the music of Prince today, April 21st, the day he passed away. So kind of pay homage to the great Prince tonight in our bumper music, ladies and gentlemen. I want to move on to my endorsement. So, as I said in the tease, going forward through May 19th, Election Day, every single night, 5 nights a week at 7:36, I will be throwing out a Shelley Wynter show endorsement of many different races. If there's an election for dog catcher, I'll endorse one of the candidates. So tonight's endorsement, I'm going to start off with the Secretary of State's office on the Republican side, my good friend Kelvin King. Kelvin King is the best choice for Secretary of State. He has traversed the state. His message is solid. He's a solid candidate. A lot of times people talk about many people talk about, hold on, I'm looking at something, breaking news on the Virginia vote. We'll get to that in just a second. So Kelvin King is my endorsement for Secretary of State. Many people look at candidate quality. And Kelvin is a highly qualified and a good candidate for Secretary of State. And he should be, if you're voting in a Republican primary, he should be the choice that you make for Secretary of State. My other endorsement tonight that I'm starting with is at Fulton County Commission Chair. And it's my good friend Marvin Arrington. Marvin Arrington is going to make the best Fulton County Commission Chair. I think he's the best of the 3 candidates. I like Rob Pitts. I know Rob Pitts. I like Mo Ivory. I know Mo Ivory. But I think that Marvin has the best in youth, young ideas, better ideas, and also experience. He's been on the Fulton County Commission for several terms. Mo Ivory just got there, didn't finish out her first term at all. And I think Rob Pitts is as good. He's very good. He's been very good, a steady hand at the chair of the Fulton County Commission. But I think it's time to make a change, not because Rob has necessarily done a bad job, just because it's time to make a change. It's time to get young, fresh, new blood as the chair of the Fulton County Commission. So I'm going with Marvin Arrington Jr. in that seat, and Secretary of State, I'm going with Kelvin King. As I said, every single night from now until May 19th, I will be dropping endorsements. Tomorrow night, I will have 2 more. I want to, in addition to what I was talking about earlier, I had posted about my time this morning at the Cobb Chamber. And I had posted and I was posting pictures all morning long and all afternoon long. And one of the interesting things I found, I was reminded when I listened to Governor Kemp speak, 2 things I was reminded of. One, when Jay Cunningham, the owner and founder of Superior Plumbing, introduced the governor, one of the things that he said really struck me, and no one had ever really said it quite like this, and no one had ever really put it into words quite like this. But he said, you know, when you're in these kind of leadership positions, governor, or you own a company or something like that, the person next to you, your wife, is very important. And he used the example, he's like, you know, he talked about he and his wife. And sometime he would go to his wife, talking about Jay. He would go to his wife and he would say, hey, what do you think of this? And if you have someone that's just going to say, oh, I love you so much, whatever you do is fine with me, right? Or you have someone that will challenge, say, I'm not sure if that's a good idea, honey. Why don't you do it this way, honey? And over the course of love and time and growing something together, you realize that this is a trusted advisor in your life. And Jay talked about how the governor, that he believed, and I totally agree, and many of the people in that room agreed, that the governor had done such a good job over his 2 terms because he had such a great trusted advisor in his corner in the name of Marty Kemp, his wife. And I listened to that and I said, man, this is so true. And I said on my Facebook post, I wrote that Governor Kemp is going to go down as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, modern-day Georgia governors. And you should have seen the yahoos come on my page calling him names and everything. And it was at that point I realized that, there are a lot of low information voters. Rush Limbaugh used to, rest in peace, used to always talk about how low information voters only existed on the Democrat side. And it was the funniest thing because everyone listening to Rush pretty much were conservatives, all believed him. Yeah, I'm the smart guy. They're the dummies. When the truth of the matter is there's a lot of low information voters on our side, meaning the Republican side. And I see and talk to them every single day on Facebook. Because if you can't understand, if we can't agree, listen, let me say it this way. If we can't agree on a fundamental basic truth that Brian Kemp has run this state for 2 terms, 8 years, masterfully, if you can't agree with that and you're going to pick on something that you disagree with here and there and not look at the total picture, nobody's perfect. There are things I disagreed with him on. But taken in totality, he's run the state masterfully. And if you can't see that or agree with that, you're a low information voter. There's no question about it. You don't know what it takes to grow a state in 2026. You actually want a state that looks more like 1969 than it does 2026. You were probably one of those people who said, no, MARTA should not go above 16th Street. You were probably one of the people who yelled when the Battery was opening up in Cobb County and said, this is bad idea. We shouldn't do this. This is going to raise our taxes. You're probably one of those people that fought like you know what to keep alcohol sales from being sold, keep alcohol from being sold on Sundays. Just a lack of vision, a lack of ideas. Just stuck in your ways. Shout out to my brother, Governor Brian Kemp. Hell of a job, my friend. And I am so happy you're my brother. And I'm so happy that I saw you when you came to my show early on when I was first on the radio by yourself. Open collar shirt, cowboy boots, jeans, and a box of donuts. And you stayed longer than scheduled. And we had a great time. And when you walked out of that room, I said, that's going to be the next governor. And why? Forget policy. Forget anything else. That's a good dude. Salute, Brian. Salute, Governor Kemp. I apologize. Salute, Governor Kemp. Wonderful job. Well done. We'll be right back. Shelley Wynter Show.